say good morning, Belize, and good morning, and how are you this morning?
Buenos dias, good morning, Belize, and welcome to the morning show. You're tuned, of course, you're live with Love TV and Love FM this Thursday morning. It's the 25th day of June, and you know something, Tamara, just find out that today is the exact midway point between the start of the year and actual Christmas.
Okay.
Not
the end of the year, but Christmas.
No, Christmas. So we're exactly
We're halfway to Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
Okay, well, that is something we want to put a little asterisk on the calendar to make sure we...
Especially like for you, you know, you're naughty or nice. You have to start to decide.
Well, I thought you were going to say because we
nice.
have a lot to do for Christmas. We are almost as busy as Santa's helpers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what you were going to say. I didn't know you would accuse me of not making the nice list.
No, not only you, anybody listening. This is, you know, if you haven't been nice, well, you know.
Listen, everybody's going to be thinking in their brain that they have a lot of time to make up for it. So you just keep giving us warnings.
You can't be nice last minute, you know.
You just keep giving us warnings. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show right here on Love FM, Love TV. And those of you that are watching us online, sending greetings to you all. It is moderate. It's moderate outside. You know, it is early, but it's not too hot. It's not raining. So we've gotten a little break from the downpour. Well, maybe I should call it scattered showers.
Our weather is pretty good. You know, when we you know, as Belizeans, sometimes we look at the negative all the time. You know, but it's been warm. We get really rain. The weather has been up and down. You know, we sweat one day, the next day we kind of, you know, cool down. But if you're in France, for instance, they've been suffering up to 104 degrees out there, and they're not used to it.
Right.
So
they never ban the Belize.
No, they never
ban in the tropics.
Correct. You know, and they are suffering, and they don't have AC in their buildings. Very few buildings have air conditioning in France, and the hospitals and schools are not AC. Well, guess what?
They
have to seriously consider it now. It's becoming a thing, you know. But of course, they need the energy to sustain something like that. But that's why I always say, you know, we live Belize. I know we leave problems, but guess what? We did all right, man.
And a lot of the times it's our own fault, because if we just prepared, for the weather, it wouldn't be such an inconvenience that it can be sometimes. All right, well, maybe we can talk more about the weather or whatever you decide, our listeners out there, because we're going to have open telephone lines when we come back to give you all a chance to join in and be a part of the morning show. We do have some guests that we've invited. We're going to have the 20th. We're going to be talking about the 20th Belize Archaeology Symposium. So if you like history and fossils and...
Yeah, one of these days we'll find a mummy.
Oh.
And that would be a big deal. I mean, we found the jade head, but we need to find a mummy.
I mean, we have bones. I think that's the closest we've gotten. Also,
and if you're looking for a job?
Well, the Belize Defense Force, they're recruiting.
That's right. You don't look good in a uniform, you know, tomorrow.
Don't do that. And then the Girls Basketball Club, BGBC. We're going to hear about girls in basketball. And as I was telling you, Ernesto, the MVP of babasketball at the primary school level. You know, they recently had the Super Nationals. We were talking about it.
And all the best
the MVP was a girl.
Really?
A girl. 11-year-old Kenya Gillit. If we get a chance, we'll show you some of her plays, because she is, on the court, she is bad, I'm telling you.
Okay, all right.
So if we get a chance, we'll show you some of her basketball highlight moments. But in the meantime, let me just remind you all, because I'm sure you've been following, but 60 played in the Bolito, 6-0. And yeah, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into our discussion topics for the morning. We'll be right back.
Good morning again and welcome to the morning show. It is a Thursday.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, right. And it is the 25th day of June, and Balida played 60. So we get the numbers out of the way. And we want to big up this young lady.
Oh, that's right. So this one is extra special to me because she is from Crooked Tree Village.
Oh, she is? Okay.
Yes.
So
But
she's one of the talented girls from
there
Crooked
she is
Tree
on
Village.
screen. Look at her go. So, will you say what?
One of the talented young ladies from Crooked Tree Village.
Yes, and she shines on the basketball court. So Kenya cheat code Gillit, as she's affectionately called by her teammates, cheat code. She is an 11-year-old basketball prodigy, and she has been playing maybe from earlier in her childhood. And she's one of those dedicated players who really put the time in to work out, to listen to their coach, playing games. She has the support of her mom and dad who takes her to these games and these basketball camps. And it's a huge part of her life. And look at her, Ernest. So that is her making those baskets. And so this weekend, or last week, as Ms. Kaya Katus was here talking to us about the Super Nationals, so Kenya's team participated. Or the team that Kenya played on participated. As you know, it was district level.
Did her team win?
I am not sure of the scores, but
Yeah.
Kenya won MVP. She was the
MVP.
most impressive player of all.
Because these are not mixed teams. These are girl teams, right?
No.
No, they are mixed teams?
These are mixed teams.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, even more so.
And so look at her go. Well, so again, congratulations to her coach, Daniel Brackett, her mom and dad for supporting her entire team and supporters. This is the result of that. She's making waves in the sport of basketball.
The Super Nationals for the primary schools, is it over? I think
It's over. They
now.
have been awarded their trophies, their awards,
Right.
and this is how we know that Kenya is the
next week
MVP.
will be the secondary school one, right? The national.
I'm glad you can inform me of that.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. Congratulations to her and all the players. I mean, we have a lot of young people in this country who do play sports and play well.
And it's a reminder that, we can't rely on talent alone. We have to put the work in, the
That's right.
practice, the
That's right.
sacrifices.
Yep.
A lot of, I think, Belizeans really rely on talent and our natural God-given abilities. We don't like to break too much. Well, maybe I'm overgeneralizing here. But, to be great, when you look at some of the sports programs in some of these other countries that excel in the Olympics and the World Cup, the level of dedication.
No, you have to. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work to do anything well.
Yes.
Nothing great comes easy. It's not handed to you and you go, no. You have to work for it, no matter what.
Talent and ability is just an added bonus, right? But nothing is going to make up for hard work and discipline. Yep. So we have
commitment. And a love for what you want to do. That's
definitely
where we are.
passion.
Yeah.
Passion is going to be the fuel that pushes you when it
settle
gets
for
hard.
mediocrity too often around here. So whatever we can do, private sector, government, individuals to support athletics, support sports in this country, do it.
Agreed.
Do it
Yes, that's our
for the
plea.
young people. If we want to mold the next generation better than the previous ones, that we say we're going to need it, then we need to do all that. And that, we could widen the discussions, not only sports.
Yeah.
Also in academics, in
Science,
just,
technology.
Yeah, following what's happening around us and make decisions that will help not only yourself, but everyone for that matter, and know when to make the right decisions.
Yes. But before you had my interest earlier when you were mentioning the weather and how, in Belize we try to adjust as best as we can. In other parts of the world, it's the same thing. But I couldn't help but think about the fact that, we know we live in a climate where we have rainy and we have sunny. We have hot and we have dry. We have wet and we have dry.
Yeah.
And yet, a lot of us not have one raincoat on standby.
Yeah,
An
true.
umbrella on standby,
No.
rain boots on standby. You already know that at least, I don't know, like a 20 days,
going to
at
fully
least 20
prepared,
days
right?
out of the year, we're going to have unexpected downpours, and our streets, for some of us, our streets might be flooded, and we don't necessarily prepare.
When it come to boots, the what we call rain boots. I remember we used to use them more often, or
Yes,
more a lot in the
yes.
older days. Not anymore. We prefer the flip flops.
Yeah, roll up the pants and let's go.
And I guess you figure, you dry out faster or something.
And even with the severe heat that we get, a lot of days of the year, we know that certain clothing could help us, a long sleeve white shirt that goes a long way in keeping us cool. Even the umbrella, it provides a little bit of shade from the
Yes.
sun.
That used to be more usage of that too,
Yeah.
but we don't use it.
And also staying hydrated, arranging your day to be indoors as much as possible. Obviously, some jobs or some errands require you to be outdoors, but there are some things that we can do to mitigate the effects of the extremes. And I don't think we do enough. I don't know. I not even think we pay attention to the weekly weather reports, and then you get the update at the start
And
of
you
the
know
day.
it's going to be a hot week, and you prepare
And
for
plan
it.
accordingly, right? I think it would make our lives
You think
a
so?
lot
I think
easier.
we probably just naturally do it. I guess our system is accustomed to it, that we kind of adapt from day to day. I know one thing we do.
Well, we survive.
Every single year from the day I born, that's a long time ago. I hear this every year, this phrase. Boy, we hotter this year than last year.
Yes.
If that was a fact, we would have born up long time. Yeah, every year hotter. Every single year. Tell me the last year you never hear that. Every year we hear that.
Yeah. Especially with days like a Greek, right? Man, this is the hottest year ever. Oh, man, even hotter than last year. I think,
Every year.
yeah.
So it's really hot. But in Europe, France, for instance, like I told you, it's going up. They're over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You find that the the ladies are walking around in bikinis.
Stop it.
They have...
When you say, on the beach you mean? Or
No,
in the cities?
especially Paris is full of fountains.
Yes.
They have fountains everywhere. Europe is known for that, the
Yes.
cities and so on. Well, these fountains, young ladies in a bikini, they sit down in the fountain. They're finding
The
water
girls,
everywhere they can.
Ernesto, the girls have gone wild. Okay.
Speaking of what's happening outside, there was two earthquakes struck Venezuela.
Yeah.
The first quake was a magnitude of 7.2, occurred
That's
around
massive.
6 p.m. yesterday, followed by a second quake with a magnitude of 7.5, less than a minute later. It's been the largest earthquake since 1900. The worst hit state was La Guaira, and according to the president, it's a disaster zone. 164 people so far have died, and over 900 injured, and they expect those numbers to go up. And earthquakes have been hitting all over the world recently a lot. In fact, there's a forecast for in our region to look out for some kind of quake or shaking. You've heard of shakings recently. People
We
say,
feel
"You never
tremors.
Feel this,
We've had tremors, but I am under this. I don't know if it's a false sense of security, that because we don't have immediate fault lines, that Belize is not likely.
We've been told that
Yes.
because we kind of swampy, we don't have
But I
those.
also understand.
But we are near fault lines, aren't we?
Yes, we are near fault lines. So something major happens close enough to us. We could
We would-
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, we did have some shaking, which was the topic of conversation for a while. It shook us, gave us a good shaking, like things fell off shelves and so on. And that for us it's like the heat wave in Europe. We're not used to
We're
that.
not accustomed to it.
We're not
no.
used to that.
But
so-
how do you even become used to something like that can change your life in a snap?
and
there's
that
not.
and really that you can't see there's any warning. It just come. All of a sudden it shakes. But you find that these countries that have oil reserves,
I
those
see.
are the ones, because these fault lines these are huge caverns under the earth that are filled with oil or the crude, and they are obviously they have.
We have a few oil lines too. So I mean,
Well, we
not,
supposed to have
nowhere
something
near
by the border
Venezuela.
down south, yeah. And we had in the news yesterday about what we call on the Hummingbird Highway, we have
Well, they're
part of the
calling it a
road.
sinkhole.
They call it sinkhole, but I'm not sure that's what it
It
was.
sounds like the road, because the road was
Road
built
just
with a
broke up.
culvert and it broke. Well, they did can we call it a quick fix, an emergency fix, an
Well,
emergency
they're working
fix?
on that, yes, and
So,
remind you to be careful.
Yes, but after sometime around midday, vehicles were able to pass. I'm not sure if there will be more interruptions for a more permanent fix, but for right now, you are able to traverse the area.
What else is going on? Well, the usual. You know,
When you say the usual, what you mean?
Apparently, this what would I call it? Well, the story started with Minister Mira and supposedly nepotism, but the case is getting bigger apparently. You know, the police apparently, well, they confiscated Alberto August's devices, phones, and it sounds like, well, according to the commissioner, they will be breaking into those phones and reading his messages. That's part of their investigation. I know he's saying if they do that, they are constitutionally wrong.
But Ernesto, that is, in my opinion, overkill. And I would look at it as political victimization, because what evidence could you possibly be looking for to prove what case?
I guess the narratives, what he's been talking about, or
How is
so on,
that-
because he's been charged with cyber
Bullying.
bullying on on the internet, on the web, and I guess they're looking for evidence.
But what evidence? He has admitted to posting, he has admitted to creating and posting the content. So what are you trying to prove beyond trying to get into conversations that may or may not be related to that topic?
Well, maybe related.
Or are you looking to see who his sources are?
Yeah, they want to see how deep he goes.
It's
now.
deep.
Yeah.
That, as someone on the opposition side, this is what happens. They seek leaks, they seek whistleblowers to expose for political advantage. This is the game of politics, right?
Right.
Is it not? Listen, why we need to be careful about these things. The same knife will stab sheep, stab goat. We see it in the U.S., right, where they stifle different. I don't want to use the word freedom of speech, but let's go with that. But the problem is that it works both ways, and it's not a precedent that you want to set, whereby people who are active in political spaces are overly,
But there has to be a limit somewhere, and whatever you do as a public figure, and I think there have to be red lines.
Okay.
At some point, there's a certain way you need to behave, and we need to start establishing those. So we've allowed too much to happen. That is why generally, as a consensus, we do not trust our politicians. We do not trust the system, and our first reaction to anything is always negative. And instead of discussing it, we immediately go into opposing. We get emotional about it. We don't objectively look at what's going on and try to reach a conclusion. This issue, to me, it looks like because this affected a minister of government, now they are going to see how deep they can go to affect this individual. Because
and his network,
right.
and his.
Correct. Yeah. Let's see how deep we can do this. Now we will do this.
And that doesn't concern you? You think this is the direction we should be going? People who speak, your political opponents should be subject to the full force of your power.
We always talk here about we talk about corruption, obviously, and we always talk about closure. We always talk about we have experienced too many things occurring in our political system, in our governance, that affect us, and we never have closure.
Okay.
Nobody has ever been held accountable. And don't tell me that wrongdoings haven't occurred since we became independent with our government ministers or persons in public office or those responsible for handling the public purse. Yes, there have been occasions, but we have never strongly gone into it, and nobody has been punished.
Okay, but how is confiscating someone's phone going to help us to hold people in power accountable?
It's not going to be pleasant. I mean, we should have been, if you, and I think I just saw a story here about another individual who is now retracting things he said associated with this quickly, because that's what I'm saying. And we are allowing persons who are responsible for managing our country and our resources and our finances to behave like sometimes like school children. You pick up the phone and you look at the internet and you see individuals posting lies or making up stories. Okay, the common citizens shouldn't be doing that either, but they only affect those who they are attacking. But if you are a person in public, you have to be held to a certain standard. And the only way that will occur is that somebody heads will have to roll at some point.
I don't really understand where you're coming from. It sounds like you're saying we need people in power to be held accountable.
Yes.
And then it also sounds like you're saying that if you're going to oppose, you need to do so responsibly.
Yes.
But you want the opposing to be put in check first.
No.
Let's address that first. Let's address who the talk out of turn first.
The job of the opposition is to oppose. I mean, that's the first thing they do. No matter what the government in power does, even if it's great, they will say, great, but.
Okay.
Okay.
But that part is actually funny. That part. Let me tell you why. Because every time there is a House meeting and the opposition stands up and says, "You did good on this and this and this," but the headline is, "Leader of the opposition praises government for so."
Depends on who's writing
you got to be careful how you.
That's okay. You spin things. You can spin something. They do that.
So now you left me no choice but to just go in there, punch up, and get straight to the opposing. All right. So that's why that part is actually kind of funny. The fact that every single thing, it seems, or almost everything that the government introduces is opposed by the opposition. But when we're talking about wrongdoing, Ernesto, come on, what do you want the opposition to say? What do you want the activists to say?
Okay. Right now we are looking at the world changed by somebody who lies considerably and consistently under a system, a democratic system that claims to be the most formidable in the world. We are looking at this, and we go, and he's not the only individual, but because of the way he creates an image, that's how he appeals to his followers and his base, and that's what they want to hear. We have developed a culture where many persons, I will follow you even if you're wrong, even if you're not religious, even if because that's what I want to hear. So if you bring it into our own little world here, we are demanding, we don't want no more corruption, we don't want you to lie to us, we don't want you to hide things from us. These things will always happen. But if we allow it to become part of the way we do business, the way we talk to each other, the way we treat each other, there has to be, at some point, we have to be able to tell ourselves, hey, we want to try stop it. Maybe even if we don't, we have to try. We have to show that we tried.
We are in media, right? We are in media, and a lot of times when corruption occurs, it is the media that exposes it. We rely on sources that sometimes we have to protect.
Right.
But that's how we get information. When it comes to someone's character, we try to be responsible with what we say. Sometimes we even withhold something until you know,
Because somebody
we're
will hold us
certain,
accountable.
of course.
Yeah.
However,
Somebody will hold us
However,
accountable.
not as someone in the media, Ernesto, I would expect you to be on the side of more freedom of speech and being concerned with the precedents that this is setting, because we have a lot of people where sometimes our only course of action is speaking out on social media.
Yeah.
For a lot of us, we
Yeah.
we feel powerless, and our course of action is speaking out on social media. And when I see that somebody who spoke out on social media, regardless of the tone they took, is being pursued to this level,
But
it make I feel like, all right, make I just sit down and shut up
don't
then.
use misinformation. Don't
What
use fake news.
misinformation?
Don't make up stories. And we do that. We do that
But
a
that's
lot.
not the case here.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying I want to find out. Whatever the case is, at some point we need to hold people in office, people who represent us, accountable.
Okay.
We need to do that.
And so,
And the only way we can do that is by going in and do the right, and we'll just investigate it thoroughly. But let me tell you something. I know after saying all that, a year from now, I believe this same story will have no closure either. Because as you know,
what would closure look like? What would closure look like?
This story will blow away like a breeze.
But what
and they don't.
would closure look like? An arrest of Alberto Agas? That's the closure
No,
we're looking for?
This is a case. You know, let's go back a little to the Budna situation, for instance. Somebody is responsible for that. Somebody needs to be held accountable.
But we want to
Somebody in
pursue
public
Alberto
office.
Agas's phone.
Right.
No.
No, you're talking about picking your wars and your battles. Okay, I don't disagree with that. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it at all.
If you did a poll right now as Belizeans, which case they wanted to resolve right now? I
think the Bodna case is going on.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock.
We could go back. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock.
Let's take a break.
We'll be back and
Yeah.
the phone lines are open.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology trusted around the world. Engineered for reliability, designed for sustainability, built to power every scenario, powering homes, empowering businesses, creating a smarter energy future for Belize. For residential hybrid systems that maximize energy independence, to homes across Belize benefiting from smarter, more efficient power management. GrowWatt off-grid solar storage solutions bring dependable electricity to locations beyond the traditional power grid, providing clean, reliable energy whenever and wherever it is needed.
6 minutes after 7 o'clock, and this is the morning show. And, we talk about how we want our government to run and how our politicians to be. And a couple of weeks ago, we have a caller who calls and says we have to start training the young people. We have to have a special way to train the next generation, those we can save.
Yes.
Because we are saying already,
A lot have been lost.
We've lost some of them.
Yeah.
So the next crowd. And you were telling me, and
It's
this is so cute,
graduation
what you found cute?
season.
It's graduation
It's graduation season, and primary schools are having their graduations. Preschools are having their
Oh my God.
graduations. Parents are beaming with pride all over Belize. I'm telling you, man.
So you graduate from preschool now, right?
Yes, you're a preschool graduate. You don't know preschool dropout.
I drop out of preschool. I don't know if I made preschool. Anyway.
Man, you had to be special for that. And so I saw this one on Facebook. It was so cute. A little boy. Let me see if I can give you the
Wait,
info.
this is they give speeches?
They give speeches. Sometimes they don't announce who is the valedictorian or so on, but you will know, there will be signs, right?
Uh-huh.
So who give the welcome speech, then somebody's going to
You
give.
talk about preschool?
Yes, they give
Okay.
it's a few lines, right? It's nothing, they don't know a big, long
What
speech.
advice can they give, right?
Right.
Don't soil your diapers on a Sunday.
Study your letters. So I have this one here. Oh, I lost it, but actually it's right here because I sent it to William so he can share it with us. I just want to make sure I don't have the song on my
call
end.
it cuteness at its best.
Yes. So this one is by a little boy named Jair. I didn't get permission to share this, but it was shared on a profile publicly.
Okay, so we can, or we think it's special.
Yes. So let's share that with our audience. Be prepared for some cuteness. All right.
Police, teachers, and special guests. We hope you enjoy our program and celebrate our achievements with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you. Free school pass and exercise. On behalf of all the graduates, I would like to welcome to our parents, teachers, and police, teachers, and special guests. We hope you enjoy our program and celebrate our achievements with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Jair.
He's coming out from my job. That's what.
Man, I'll 2 foot 1 inch of him.
And using words bigger than him. Their
Yes.
Achievements.
Achievements,
Yeah,
yes.
he had
And I like that
achievements.
somebody in the audience was trying to help him, but he didn't need any help, They only distracted him.
Okay. Hello, Carlo. Good morning. You're on Love. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling concerning a horse that is on the Northern Highway. Loose. I guess you would call the proper authorities to come and deal with it.
Okay, on the Northern Highway, where?
Right by Reimers.
Where?
Reimers.
Reimers. Oh,
Reimers,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
On the Northern Highway or the Philip Wilson Highway.
Yeah, okay. A horse
Yeah,
is
so-
loose there. Okay. Thank
One
you.
horse is loose. So let the proper authorities come and check on it, please.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're driving by Reimers here in the Philip Golson. There's a horse out there, loose. Whoever is loose. Again, you come from a village. You know,
Yes.
animals always get
Cattle
loose.
roaming is an issue
Cattle
in
roaming,
a lot
yes,
of rural
yes,
areas.
again.
And remember, some highways run through rural areas. And so it's an issue. Yeah. But if you are driving in the area, please be careful. Make sure you're not driving too fast. That way you can avoid a collision with a horse.
Good morning. This is Love. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Before you and Tamar went to commercial break, I know y'all were discussing um, the situation with a political affiliate
Yes, yes.
and the issue of retaining his cell phone because of perhaps what he had said on the social media. Now, my personal view on this matter, I should say that if you commit an offense, then the police have all right to go legally to confiscate your phone. He is not the only person that have been charged for cyberbullying or will be charged for cyberbullying. Now, of course, people in political arena and who are holding public offices of high magnitude should, of course, exercise their restraint because you can't go after everybody that dislikes you, even if they make it public. But you have to draw a line. So if you're saying something like, for example, if I say Ernesto has been smuggling drugs for the past 15 years and nobody says anything about it, and I put that out there, let's say Ernesto is a politician and I put that out there, that is not true. So you can't cover yourself under the notion that, well, he's a politician and I should be able to criticize him. You have to be credible in your criticism in terms of saying X, Y, Z, but not to make fabrication. And I think that is the issue that is being not highlighted as much. It's not what he's saying, it's the fact that it is not a truthful or accurate representation of what was said by a political minister or a minister in office. So we have to draw the balance because I'm sure that nobody, including you two on the talk show, would want people to say things about you that is simply not credible. Yes, they can say you're a bad leader, you have poor management skills, whatever they may feel, but not go to the point of saying that you are, to say things that they know not to be true. That, I think, is the issue at hand that we have to focus on in respect to that case. I don't know the full details, and of course, I am just like any other member of the public looking at it, but I am looking at it from an impartial standpoint. Yes, political persons have to have thick skin, can't go after everybody, but at the same time, you have to be credible or accurate with what you're saying, because everybody has rights.
Yeah.
That is what I want to say.
Thank you very much. That's one point that we can't make clear enough, that criticism you must be credible if you are going to be pointing your fingers at somebody else and making accusations or exposing something, then you have a responsibility to be credible. And yeah, that definitely needs to be emphasized as sharply as possible.
And if you do it deliberately, that's and we know this is happening. We know it's happening, and you wonder why some individuals will do it just to make you look bad, but they do it because they believe that there's a segment of us, part of the population, the citizenry, that will believe it or want to believe it. Because sometimes we know it might not be true, but we prefer, and you know that. You spread it so that it causes you damage.
You know, it's crazy, the things that people believe just because they see it in some words in front of them or they hear it spoken. It's so true that people don't take time to question the source. That's the first thing I always want to know. If they even shush, the first thing I want to know is,
Where you come from?
Where you come from? What you hear that? Did you prod that a little deeper? Honestly, as much as even if that, it's against my worst enemy, I always question the source. And even when you tell me and you give me information about your source, I still remain skeptical until I see more.
Verified?
Yeah. Until I'm satisfied that it's true. And I would, if I even repeat it, maybe in one-on-one conversations, I would always preface it by saying, you know what, I can't verify that this is true, but this is what I've heard. If it's a conversation that I think is relevant to someone that I'm sharing with. But a lot of us don't do that, Ernesto. So I'm
like
definitely
I said,
there with you on that part.
We don't want to discuss. The minute you throw something out, the first reaction from those either who don't like you or don't agree with you is to immediately
attack you.
You know, it's because that's the way they handle that situation at the moment. Instead of, like you said, hold on, where you get that from?
Yeah.
You know, and maybe put you on the spot because you probably made it up. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Things can be exaggerated, taken out of context.
Exactly. You design it in a way, like they say, you spin something and you start to create an image or a reputation effect on someone by the way you word something or you say something. I mean, I always remember when my mom would lash me because I love me. You say, I love you, that's why I'll punish you. So I used to ask her, please don't love me so much because...
You got a lot of lashing. That's a spin too, right? It doesn't make it a lie, but... Well...
let's look at it from the other point of view. Let's look at the other side with the minister and the... and there's going to be an audit investigation, all right? But if you notice how his side is spinning it, is saying, wait, nothing wrong has gone on here.
We don't know that anything wrong has happened.
Yeah, let's make a wait till we make a decision. But there is a red flag up that nepotism may have occurred.
Yes.
So we need to, of course, they will try to distract you away from that. Because if his family did get up to, I don't know, millions of dollars in payments, now we have to decide how wrong is nepotism. That's where we are.
What is our tolerance for it?
Exactly.
And are we going to apply the same measurement across the board? Even when it comes to if you benefit from it, is it suddenly okay now?
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, morning, Mr. Vasquez.
Good morning, Ernesto, sir. Yes.
Ernesto, a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if the Mennonites pay Social Security like all of us?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, I don't think so.
You're supposed to help us?
Well, yeah. Why your question? What's your point?
Because I understand they don't pay Social Security, the Mennonites. You need to check that out.
Well, remember a few years ago we had some issues about how they do business and they live in their own little world and they have their own rules.
So
remember with the political...
A nation within a nation.
Good point.
These are the things we need to discuss, Ernesto. Certain advantages that certain other groups have over others. I understand they can't even serve in the army, but benefit from other things,
Well, we have issues with the Mayas too. Some of us think they're getting too much privilege and things like that.
I love of them to really get deeper into things because directly and tell me, hold it, stop, not say nothing more.
No, we will never tell you that. But why? Let me ask. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why would you think we should investigate that they don't pay Social Security?
Because it's not fair to the rest of the population.
Why is it not fair? Why is it not fair?
They are citizens and they are benefiting from the economy of the country, and we are crying how the base population is so small, and we need to increase the rates.
Right, that's a good. I like the point. That's a fair point. I like that point. Yes.
Yeah.
But hold on. But at the same time, you said they are benefiting from the economy. Are we benefiting from them?
Well, that is all. Business is always a two-way street. But if you go back to the reason why they came in, they were supposed to be confined to farming, and they looked at the laws and they quickly jumped out and created monopolies outside of the communities.
Okay. You start a whole new thing now.
Yeah, and I want to get deep into that. No, not just a tape and service and simple things.
Simple
things affect us right now.
What do you mean simple things? Again, there you go describing.
They're simple to him. It's okay.
No, I don't think we're talking about no simple things this morning.
Yeah. You want to tell us something else?
You see, let me tell you something. If we start looking closer at the way we behave, all these things start to show up, you know. You remember that it's like taking a medical test. When you don't do it, you could be ill inside and it's okay. But if you start to just take one blood test, it just start to lead you to something else and something else. In fact, that's why people don't want to go take a checkup because they say they might give me bad news. Well, the same thing here. If we start to look at the way we are governed, if we start to look at that.
Citizens don't pay Social Security and others have to pay. I will leave you with that for next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
for next week, Ernesto. But it's okay. So let's look at it a little closer. We know that there are some businesses right here in Belize City that are run by Mennonites. They pay Social Security for their employees, right? Self-employed persons are not obligated to pay Social Security.
That's right.
If I have a Lee chicken farm, I don't have to pay for myself. I am obligated by law to pay for my employees, if you know. So
that's why I said.
If you don't pay and you don't benefit, I don't see the harm. But maybe I'm just looking at it from the surface.
But anyway, hello caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, the caller just now a call, right? And I know Love FM, like other radio station, allow people to express themselves because it is you call in to invite calls. So everybody have different opinions. But this is a perfect example. This man they talk about if Mennonites not to pay Social Security. The question for one of me ask that, well, you have proof? You know any of that? Because he talk that don't know. People, the public might run with that and say, oh, social not to pay. The public might just listen to it and say, wow, so minister to pay. How he was say something and not bring proof? Some send something to phone media house make gonna say and that not just say that like that. Because then there's a thing called spreading false rumors. I know they say you do it, but it could lead to that. Right? And so I just remind you, please tell them when anybody calls, they're supposed to be respectful. How the man was said that we're only talk about simple. Yes, Tamar tell yes, Tamar will tell you that's how the man opinion, but then you know all of us have an opinion, but we have to be respectful. Anyways,
Thank you.
Well said, Carla. Well said. See, we do have. Anyway, I mean,
instant
a lot of us are thinking, and we do look at things objectively, and you can't. But I like how you reacted to that just now. This, like I said to him, the deeper you start to look into something, it gets bigger, and you start to have the pros and the cons, and the right and the wrong.
I don't know where he thinks. Okay, if I'm a Mennonite by ethnicity, I'm exempted. That's not how it works.
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
So the bong everything you and the caller just discussed.
Yeah.
I know Carl if I know proof. Mennonite. Listen carefully. Mennonite Agreement, 1957, exempt them from paying not just self-employed, anybody.
But they pay for them. Like Tamar said, they have hundreds of employees that they hire.
And they pay Social Security.
They have to pay Social Security for them. Right? Hello? Oh, he's gone. So, one detail brought up another one.
There are truck drivers. There are people who work inside the restaurants, the stores. Come on.
Hundreds of employees.
If you are a self-employed person in that community, it's an option. You can pay or you cannot pay.
my Social Security payments were shortchanged because I was self-employed for many years, and there was a break before they decided that self-employed can pay.
Yeah.
So
At first you didn't
I
have
had
the
a few
ability to pay.
years that I was not paying any Social Security for myself because I was self-employed. I had to pay for my employees, obviously, until they made the law say, you can if you want.
Yes.
We were included, then I started to pay. So I lost a few years in that,
In
in that
contributions.
period. In
You still get your
contributions.
benefits. Don't worry about it.
Well, I know I could have benefited more. But, but I think the point of our discussion is we do need to look at these things, and we do need to find out how we are to objectively discuss how we are governed. We were talking about say, nepotism, for
Yes.
instance. I mean, nepotism is rampant everywhere.
Yes.
In the private sector. Now, when it comes to the public sector, you'd say, wait, hold on. No, you are responsible for everybody's money, not just your own. You know, because nepotism works.
Yeah.
Some of the most successful companies in the world are nepotistic. The father hand on to his son or the daughter, and
Yes.
they carry it,
Yes.
and then all the cousins work, and everybody, and they hire people. Okay, but that's their own
That's
business and their own private money.
and it's their
Right.
funds. They can do with their business as they see
Correct.
fit.
Now, if I am the minister of a minister of government in a certain ministry, and you're my girlfriend, and you get all the contracts,
Yeah.
that's nepotistic.
Yes.
I mean, that's something, and I'm not talking about family now.
And
I'm
it's
just
an
talking
abuse of
about
it's an
somebody
abuse
I
of
like.
your position.
Exactly. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. This is Love.
Hello, Ernesto, and Miss
Hi.
young lady named Tanya.
Tamar.
Hi, good morning.
Tamar, yeah, sorry about that. I give her a wrong name this morning. Yeah, talking about good governance, man. I think I saw in the news about some. I think the Prime Minister commented on the sugar cane of not giving them
Bailouts.
free ride anymore or
Anymore.
bailout. I think it's long overdue. I think all the while, taxpayers were, sustaining the sugar industry. And I believe this goes to all the big farmers as well, because I know these big farms are getting, I call it, duty-free fuel. I used to work for some of them, so I know some of them are still getting it, and then I don't know what's the benefit. What's the reason they do that? Yeah, so I believe those things should stop, because when you say duty-free fuel, I mean, I think it's us subsidizing them as well, no? So I believe it should go across the board, and they look where, there needs to be cut, and let everybody pay their tax, no?
Yeah.
I believe that is where the shortage is coming in, because there are a lot of big farmers out here that I know who I used to work with get duty-free fuel for their company, for their operation. So I believe it should go across the board.
And is that still,
all
as
of
far
us
as you
pay
know,
taxes.
that is still happening?
Of course, it's happening.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
tell you, if there should be someone that should trace this down, definitely be a red flag that will be found. Because, like I tell you, I don't know how they end up getting duty-free fuel, because, like I say, we believe in the struggle. You understand? Because I understand the reason why they get duty-free fuel, because they employ Belizean, they pay back Belizeans. I don't know. I don't see the sense of that.
Okay.
So if, like I tell you,
And
if
these
there
are
is
you,
is the word.
hold on. And when you say these big farmers, are you referring to
Cane.
Belizeans as well?
Cane farmers.
Like, for
Cane-
example,
mostly cane
fruit farm,
farmers?
banana farm, citrus farm, them.
Oh,
All of
other
these
industries.
big farms,
Well, and that again is an effort to help them.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, caller.
like I say, if there is accountabilities,
Well, we have.
definitely lots of red flags will be found around the place.
Yeah, well, bring us right back full circle to what we were discussing earlier about accountability, holding people accountable, and it's going to be distasteful. I mean, it's going to be hard, and I think that's why we've been avoiding it. the example here is of and I think it's a good way to finish. It says, no country on earth scores a perfect mark. It reminds you of Singapore. Singapore is a poor little dirt water country years ago, and now it's one of the more progressive countries in the world. And the leadership in Singapore never said it would be free of corruption. But what their leader did, it made corruption expensive, dangerous, and in other words, you know what the risk. It's like smuggling. You know, we say we got contraband coming in, and one of the reasons is because our duties are so high. If you did one small duty across the board, then nobody in contraband be kind of worth it. You know,
Agreed.
These decisions have to be made. So
these policies have to make sense,
Yes.
right? Otherwise, they're going to be circumvented.
But to get to those policies, you have to find out what's really wrong, and our leaders, again, have to make decisions on how to handle it responsibly and with the interest of improving the life of all Belizeans.
All right, it's
No matter who
27
you
minutes. 27 minutes to 8. Gotta take this break. We'll be right back with our first guest right after this.
Good morning, Belize. Our latest radar observation showed isolated thunderstorm is affecting the Stan Creek district. Elsewhere was mostly dry. Conditions will become more moist and unstable later tonight into tomorrow. The 24-hour forecast: sunny with cloudy spells today and cloudy at times tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be generally isolated. Then an increase in shower activity is expected mostly over southern and some coastal areas tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 92 inland, and 82 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will drop to around 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland, and 68 up in the hills. The winds will be from the east-northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be light chop to choppy. A high tide will occur early this morning at 6:15, followed by a low tide this afternoon at 2 o'clock, another high tide tonight at 8:16, and another low tide just after midnight at 12:41. The sun will set this evening at 6:30 and will rise early tomorrow morning at 5:20. The moon will rise this evening at 8 minutes after 3 and will set early tomorrow morning at 2:27. In the sargassum forecast, there is a medium chance of more sargassum mats affecting coastal destination during the next few days, producing moderate impacts. The outlook for Friday and Friday night: skies will be mostly cloudy, with a few showers and thunderstorms likely occurring around the country, especially over central and southern areas on Friday. Then, shower activity will likely decrease late Friday night. In the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected over our area during the next 48 hours. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. Our next forecast comes out at 12 p.m. this afternoon. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
biggest soccer season is here. Are you ready to experience the front row from home? Experience stadium level immersion with Samsung's latest technology. Perfect for every room. Your favorite Crystal UHD and QLED smart TVs are ready for you. Now at the best price. From your 32-inch personal fan zone at just $369 to the massive 85-inch home stadium experience for only $2,579. We have the perfect upgrade for every fan. Get yours with confidence at Cellular World, the authorized distributor in Belize, and receive a 1-year warranty. Visit us today and take advantage of these promotions. Valid until June 15th. Upgrade to the front row at home. Experience with Samsung and Cellular World.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back, and you're live with the morning show, Love FM, Love Television. I'm Ernesto with Miss Tamar. We have guests in
Welcome
studio.
back, everybody.
And we can talk about old Belize, past Belize, your ancestors and mine,
So it's gonna be an interesting conversation surrounding the topic of archaeology, and we have guests with us in studio. So Ernesto, you have to be on much better behavior now.
Okay.
We have Dr. Melissa Badillo. She is a director with the Institute of Archaeology.
Good morning.
We also have Miss Romari Koo. She is an archaeologist with the Institute of Archaeology. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Now, we know that something exciting is coming up, the symposium. But before we get into that, what is archaeology and why is it important?
So archaeology is the study of past civilizations through, their material remains that they left behind. And it's important for Belize because we have a very important history. We have some ancestors in this country who created massive cities, left behind amazing features. To this day, we can't replicate some of those construction. And so we have a responsibility to protect these features, but, a responsibility also to conduct studies, research, find out what these things are, how they live their lives. And of course, in the economy that we have, archaeology also plays a big role in tourism. So the Institute of Archaeology manages 14 archaeological reserves that are open for tourism purposes. And the research that happens behind all of that allows us to then be able to share the stories of these amazing cities with not only Belizeans, but with people from all over the world who come to see and learn about the ancient Maya and their way of life.
Do we study other civilizations as well in Belize through
we
archaeology?
We do, yes, yeah. It goes way beyond the Maya. Our upcoming archaeology symposium will highlight some of those because we have records dating back to Archaic and Paleo-Indian period, which predates the Maya about 10,000 years.
Wow.
And we have evidence of that in this country. We have then, the whole Maya civilization. We have then the historic and colonial period, which is more modern, but still we the research plays a part in uncovering different details about these things. And every year, the archaeology and the research, you reveal a little bit more about these stories.
Romari,
Hello.
Romari, what is it? Why are humans so curious about the past?
Well, we like to think of it as we always want to know why. That's always the question of why this, why that. And it's really important that when we look back at where we are, it's important that we understand how we even got there. And it answers the question of why at the same time. A lot of the research that has been coming out, for me, it explains more about agriculture, civilizations, how we grow. We have our entire country. It's important to even understand how we even got there. How did you even start thinking about agriculture? What methods work? What methods don't work? Why is it working in a certain area? Why is it not working in a certain area? So it's important that we get to understand all of these different research purposes and the reasons of why. Why is something working? And through archaeology, we get to uncover that.
Okay, let me ask you, both of you archaeological experts, just came to mind. You asked about the why. We know that the Mayan civilization that we are looking at now ceased to exist thousands of years before we came here, right? So how much influence did they have on me and you then? Because my great-grandmother was Mayan. After hers was more mestizo. But even my great-grandmother had nothing to do with that ancient civilization, just that they are Mayan. How you see the conflict we're having today with the present Maya, and some people say, yeah, but you came afterwards. Where does this study start for me and you now? How that old civilization, how much influence did it have on us today?
I would want to correct you because
Okay.
that civilization didn't really cease to exist. It continued just in different ways. You know, the times changed. Just like we're facing today, you have impacts like climate change. You had, increased rainfall, fires, all of these things that impacted that older civilization. But what happened is that they moved to different areas where they could still thrive.
But the people change. I mean, you're right.
And they did change some things because
the ones we talk about that lived on top of the temple and praised the sun and the moon and sacrificed virgins, whatever it was. I mean, we talk about that's the move, what they make the movies. But my great-grandmother and even her mother, I don't think they were sacrificed.
Outside influence also came in that, changed some of those things. So it's the same people, their traditions changed. Europeans
But they're the
came
ones
in.
who you come from.
Yeah, and you had people that, some of the groups rebelled against these European practices. Eventually, some of them, they kind of adapted these practices. They still continued their way of life, but changing it, and they're still surviving all across the Mesoamerican region, including here in Belize. The Maya continue to survive, continue to, practice their agriculture, continue to live and to be part of our daily lives today. And many people in Belize do have some kind of Maya, blood in their system as well, because we're so mixed.
I mean, most us, what they call mestizos, have Maya blood running in our veins.
Exactly. Yep.
But I don't wonder if they're the real...
No.
Mayans,
It's definitely descendants of those
200 years ago, 200 years ago is young considering to a few thousands years ago.
Of course. It's the same people, though.
And this comes up at your symposium, I guess, these kinds of discussions,
Most definitely. We have about 30 different projects that take place in Belize, all across, all the different archaeological sites, some within the established reserves, some at other archaeological sites, some in private properties. And so we use the Archaeology Symposium as a platform where we can advise and inform people about the research that is happening, get more Belizeans involved in understanding and appreciating why we should protect and preserve these resources, and get them involved, get the young people involved in actually wanting to do archaeology as well.
What are some of the tools or techniques or methods that you use to reconstruct what civilization was like back then? I know there's a digging, and then there are certain tests you can maybe determine how old a piece of pot or a bone fragment is. But what other sources do you have that will maybe help to confirm your theories and help to reconstruct what life was like or civilization was like in any given period?
Well, we do a lot of, through the projects, there are different research methods on how these things are done. One of the most famous ones that is currently happening still is LIDAR. So LIDAR first began at Caracol, and that has been a project on its own. And through LIDAR, we have gotten to understand architectural features, city-states, the sizes.
What is LiDAR?
LiDAR is these rays that get shot into the earth, and it's visually seeing something that's no longer on a flat surface. We get to see altitude and we get to see the shape. So it usually happens a lot in tree canopies. So Belize is full of forests. That is one thing that always happens.
Hearing that we have
so
lots
to save nature on its own, that flies over and it shoots little points down.
Is this a satellite that's...
It's like an X-ray.
Kind of, yeah, visually.
Technology,
Yes. So it would pass over and it would just shoot little rays down, and it would take out the architectural features from above, showing you how high something would have been from above without taking down physically the trees, but we would be able to see it. It would just kind of eliminate the trees from above. So that's one of the research ways that people are going about understanding architecture, and we get to see sites in a new light, because now we get to see them face to face, yes, but there's only so much that we can see.
Yeah.
We have to actually go there and do that, and we have to make sure that we think about it. Exactly, we have to think about it.
I understand Caracol is a huge city.
Yes, and what you see now is only what we're able to see. Through LiDAR, that city spans wider than just what is there when you go and visit.
Right.
Is it true that
the archaeological reserve, what we have established as the actual reserve, is only 25,000 acres, and in the last 40 years or so of research at Caracol, the physical ability to survey that area took them so many years, and with the LiDAR that was done in 2009, it immediately erased all of that years of work, and you see that the reserve, the site itself, the Caracol archaeological site,
is huge,
extends way beyond what that reserve is and goes in all directions. The expanse is so much bigger. So we're thriving metropolis in areas that today we don't occupy. The Maya were able to do that.
I probably saw a little bit about LiDAR on Nat Geo or one of those channels.
Yes.
I know this is cutting edge technology.
It is.
How did we get access to be able to use this to reconstruct some of our sites?
Well, through research, grant funding, that kind of thing. We've been doing a lot of it in Belize. It was actually first introduced in archaeology right here in Belize at Caracol.
Wow.
And since then, a number of the projects have done more LiDAR, and we're looking at, increasing the coverage so that we would have that to, develop better policies and planning in guiding, archaeology sites and ensuring that we protect them, because we have development happening all across the country, and we certainly want to make sure that we are doing it responsibly and protecting whatever cultural sites that exist across the landscape.
Now, another huge source is what gets passed down orally, right? And we have some stories that have survived, or some pieces of history that have survived maybe centuries. And also, I don't know if we have this, but in the Egyptian, they have the we call it the hieroglyphics. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry, but they have different forms that they would write and preserve parts of their history. Were you able to uncover anything in writing?
And we do have many, yes, the Maya do have evidence of writing. It's still called the same hieroglyphs. And we have specialists who do epigraphy, who study the Maya language and have been able to translate some of these things. And when you combine that with the actual data, from the excavations, you get to put together the story of the ancient civilization and learn from them. We can take lessons from what they did, what worked, what didn't work, and apply it to today's society.
Interesting question from Tamar, because again we go back to Egypt, and they had the papyrus, and they actually had something on some kind of paper. Is there anything like that?
And the Maya did as well.
Paper?
Yes, the Maya.
Do we have any?
I don't think we have any in country, but research many years ago, and from across different parts of Mesoamerica, we have evidence that the Maya did produce paper. They used the natural environment, from paper. They were able to process it into...
I think they used the corn...
I know that they used the bark from the fig tree and processed that and ended up making paper. And they have recorded, events about their lives, astronomy, all sorts of different topics were written about on those documents.
Because most of it we study off the walls, right? Off their carvings and
Correct,
so on.
yeah. Off the monuments usually are carved. Some of the
Even on the
buildings would
paintings.
have.
One tour guide told me something when I visited Caracol years ago. And now that you're here, I won't confirm it. He said that they read there that Caracol actually invaded Tikal.
Yes, that's true.
So we invaded them first.
It was a series of...
Yeah, there are several battles,
yeah,
and
yeah.
our Caracol invaded Tikal in
Right,
Guatemala and
correct.
conquered them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And-
Maybe
and
that's
you know-
why they want to conquer way back. They want revenge.
Maybe.
Let's talk about the symposium. So this song's interesting. Day one, you have tell us what's happening on day one.
So day one, it is a 3-day full symposium, and it's one of the events that we are proud of. It is the 20th anniversary of the symposium, meaning that the symposium, the first one actually happened in, which was a little bit more formalized and got the impact there was in 2003. So it goes to show that research has been happening in Belize for quite some time, and through the symposium is when people get together, the public gets together, tour guides, students, they show up, and we get to have a one-on-one with researchers that have been conducting research in Belize. So all of these questions can be asked there as well, where students can come and they can learn any interest that they have. We have a wide range of papers happening this year. We have from paleontology, which is not studied as much, and it is an interesting paper happening on day 2. It is the first 2 papers. On day 1, we talk about special papers that really highlight different discoveries happening in Belize. We also have something like the public education of archaeology, and that's really important because it is inspired by a Belizean teaching Belizeans about archaeology. There are different programs that Belize offers, but this gives you that one-on-one with understanding the importance of archaeology, the different methods of archaeology, and what you can do with it. A lot of questions that come out is, okay, I got here, what do I do now? And it's really important that students understand what they're capable of doing within the world of archaeology. So the symposium really creates that space. There are different sections, of course, which is the 2nd of July. That paper is going to be a really interesting one, and it's one I'm really excited for. So last year, the famous tomb of Tekabchak was discovered, and that was a milestone on its own at the site of Caracol. So this year, there is a paper dedicated for that. But not only that, the Institute of Archaeology has partnered with the project as well, and we are recreating the tomb. So on that day, guests that show up, they would be able to visit a recreation of the tomb. And we also have the display of the mask there. So people will get to have questions, and they get to have that one-on-one understanding what the tomb meant, the different findings in that tomb, and get that experience of visually seeing it rather than just reading it at the same time.
Tamar, I wanted to know if you didn't find any mummy in the tomb.
Well, you can ask the question right there and get a proper response to it. But it's a really interesting step for people.
We have the mummy.
The Archaeology Symposium, as we mentioned earlier, every year we have new research that comes up, new information that we can share. And so every year that the symposium has been in existence, it's updated information that is shared, new research that comes out. And we definitely want students and tour guides especially to be there because they play an integral role in taking this information even further, sharing it with international guests and visitors, taking it to the classrooms and using that to do new research to inspire, new ways of interacting with archaeology.
And day 3?
Day 3 is a packed day as well. Yes. It's kind of winding down, but it is still very much interesting papers. The Institute of Archaeology is actually presenting a paper on that day where we talk about what we have been doing within our world of digital archaeology. It's a new study that's been coming out, and it's been really a focal point here in Belize. The Institute we've really made it our duty to make sure that education is across all boards, and through digital archaeology, it's one of our ways that we're making sure that it's getting incorporated in education systems, in just the public, and they can interact with artifacts in a digital way now.
Yeah. Where is the jade head?
In a secure location.
It's in Belize,
It
right?
is in Belize,
It's in
yes.
Belize, okay. So how do anyone can participate in the.
It's open to anybody.
symposium?
Yes, you can follow us on social media. The IA Facebook page has the registration information on there. There's a link. We have online registration this year, so it makes it easy for you to register even before you come in. Belizeans are $10 per day, and non-Belizeans are $20. Belizean students show up with your ID, and you get in for free. Come in, enjoy 3 days of lectures. I think it's a total of 43 different papers that will be presented. And we also have the exhibit that will be open to anybody attending this symposium. If you have some time, come learn about archaeology and what's happening across the country.
That's right. Again, remind us where.
It will be at the San Ignacio Hotel in San Ignacio, and open. I think the lectures start at like 8:30,
So
and run
registration-
through to about 5 every day. So it's a full day of presentations, but very interesting new information.
Do you know if any educational institutions like universities or sixth forms or even high schools are making sure that they attend? They send students.
Every
or
year we
in
have
some-
students. Yeah,
Yes.
mostly high school and the tertiary level. But yeah, we get students every year. Every year they come in. Galen, UB, some from the schools in the San Ignacio area. But school will be out too. So, if you want your kid to come out, if they're interested, bring them by.
You have any more questions?
I have a lot more
Me too.
questions, but
This sounds really interesting. I mean,
they're more
really,
specific about different stories and discoveries. So I guess we can ask those at the symposium,
we
right?
should.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
All right.
Kamar, you really sound excited about
Oh, I am.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
sound
going
like
to the
you-
symposium
You
since.
can't wait.
Oh, I can't. We've been going. I was telling them that when I was probably 19, my dad and I used
Boy,
to
you're
travel.
older than 90?
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. But we used to travel and we're from Corozal, so we used to travel and make sure that we were there for the symposium. And my dad was always the one taking me to go and stay for the 3 days for the symposium. So it became a family tradition for me, and it's now a nice experience that now I get to see the back end of it.
Where did
and
you
give it to
do
other
your
people.
studies?
I went to Galen, so I did my undergrad at Galen, and from there, volunteer work was always a priority for getting into the world of archaeology. So with the Institute of Archaeology, you can do that.
Do both universities here offer some kind of studies in archaeology?
Galen offers a degree in anthropology, I believe, and at UB they offer a history program. So either of those can get you, familiarized
That's
and
right.
introduced to archaeology and anthropology.
Okay.
All right, ladies, thanks for coming in and sharing about this event and, of course, the future of archaeology in Belize, how we're digitizing the information that we've uncovered, and also the fact that we can use archaeological findings in planning for a future. It might add to our survival.
You know what I just thought? You love AI.
Yes.
I
also
with the usage of AI, eventually on LiDAR or whatever, you think you can map out Karakol?
That's already?
They have,
yeah.
To see basically because I understand these cities had like the center and then you had the suburbs and,
So
and different classes live there and so
they're
on.
that's part of our paper actually. So our paper will expand more on that. Yes, it's a so part of our paper is expanding on that and showing the different initiatives that the IA has done with making sure that research is accessible but on a digital platform. There are things that exist like story maps. So story maps is one of the initiatives that we have taken on, and there are different types of learners, and it's making sure that we are accessible to those different types of learners. So we have people that will sit down and they will read the books that encompass about 100 pages, but there are other people that they visually need to see them. And through story maps, we're able to showcase how the site of Altunha would have looked. And those are important because visually we need to see those at the same time. And we take on the initiative of digitizing artifacts. So you can't really just go there and touch these pieces, but through a digital scan, you were able to see a little bit more details than we usually can. Spin it around, zoom in to see the little crevices that are really important in understanding the craftsmanship in a single pot.
Yeah.
So it's important that we get to understand that through digital archaeology, which is what our paper will talk about.
Well, I mean, you ladies are really interested in this.
Yeah.
Again, see, women.
They send the right people, right?
That's right. Exactly.
All right, it's 8:01, so that means we're out of time. So again, thank you so much for coming. We love when passionate people join us and talk to us about what they're working on. So a huge appreciation for that.
Dr. Melissa Badio and Komariku, thank you for coming in, ladies.
Many thanks for having us.
Now, when we come back, we'll be talking about the Belize Defense Force and the fact that they're recruiting right now.
I think
Maybe
they
you want to
look for you,
join.
that's why they came.
Let's see if I have a chance.
Great soldier.
I would add to the force, you think? A great addition?
Definitely.
We'll be right back with them after this break.
I'm a Belizean traveler. Are you?
Back to School 2026 with the Angelus Press is here. And this year is bigger and better. We're talking unbelievable deals all summer long. Starting June 15, stock up on all your school essentials.
New notebooks? Check. Fresh backpacks? Check. Prices that make you smile? Double check.
Mommy, I want my new Samsonite backpack.
That's right. Samsonite still offers a sweet 1-year warranty. And hey, you even get a free merch with purchase while supplies last. Stay in the loop by following the Angelus Press on social media. Every Friday during our back to school season, look out for our jaw-dropping This Stuff for Real deals.
So before you shop, make sure you follow
The Angelus Press, your back-to-school headquarters all summer long. The Angelus Press and the Love Foundation, transforming lives with love.
Once again, good morning, Billies. Welcome. This is the morning show. Ernesto and Tamar. We have guests in studio. Tamar, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. So with us this morning, we have Captain Claudio Quiros and Lance Corporal Jency Enamorado. Good morning. Welcome. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you too.
All right. The Belize Defense Force. Remind us about some of the work that you do.
Right, so the Belize Defense Force, our principal role within the country is to protect the country itself, the territorial integrity of Belize. And we have secondary roles, which includes aid to our civil authorities generally. So a lot of the work that we do that the public gets to see would be in disaster relief and things like that.
Of course. Yeah, we call it the BDF, but it's our army.
Correct.
Basically, that's what it is,
Correct.
I love how the Israelis call the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an army, And that's what you're here to protect, Belize.
Correct.
And this morning you're here to, encourage those who may be interested to join the BDF. Let's start with you, Lance Corporal Jency Enamorado. Good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
tell us your story. How did you, I mean, look, impressive, not true?
Of course.
I mean, awesome, you know. Tell us your story. How did you get involved with the Army?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, viewers. My name is Lance Corporal Jency Enamorado. I am 23 years old, and I am Belize's first aircraft technician.
First, repeat that?
Aircraft technician.
Okay.
Okay, so I joined the force in the year 2020, and then I managed to apply to go to Honduras to be an aircraft technician.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really an honor and a pleasure for me to be part of the Belize Defense Force. Most people out there think that the Belize Defense Force is only infantry, but apart from infantry, we also have different areas or specializations, we want to call it, in the force, within the force, right? So we have the Special Boat Unit. That's a unit of the Belize Defense Force. We also have the Belize Defense Force Air Wing. We have logistics. We have different areas in the Belize Defense Force.
Of course. Are you a result of a recruitment like this, or you had an interest in joining the Army from? You were, well, I would say a young girl, you know, younger.
Well, ever since I was small, I've been in the BDF has this company, I don't know how you call it.
The Cadet Corps.
The Cadet Corps.
Okay.
So I was in the Cadet Corps since I was, I don't know.
Primary?
Probably
High school?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in a Cadet Corps. So the Cadet Corps is basically, they teach you discipline. They teach you what is it probably to be, a soldier.
You get a little snippet, a little
yes,
sample.
That. And then I wanted to continue my studies. And I thought of joining the military so I could have do my education and also serve the country, right? And that is how I came about being in the Belize Defense Force. Then they had scholarship to become a pilot or an aircraft technician. I applied and I got accepted. And I'm serving my country. I'm also fixing aircrafts, and I'm.
So we often hear about the different opportunities once you're in the force, right? But do you have to complete a certain milestone or a certain amount of years before you're able to start working on your specializations or take advantage of opportunities to study abroad?
Correct. So traditionally, once a candidate is successful in entering the force, we encourage that they do a minimum of 2 years infantry. So in my case, for example, I followed a more traditional career path. After I joined the Defense Force and I did my initial training, I went to an infantry unit where I did what we call an infantry tour.
Yeah.
For us, one infantry tour means we get
You're on the field, you go
on the border,
patrols and
correct.
things like that. Yeah.
And a complete tour is completing each of the different posts that we have all across the country. So after one tour, you get to know pretty much the entirety of the country.
Right.
So after I got finished with that, then I fell back on what was my academic qualifications before I joined the force, and then I went and specialized in engineering.
Okay.
So I am specialized like Lance Corporal Enamorado, but I followed a little bit more traditional.
Is this something like the Americans? You have the non-commissioned officers as opposed to the, like you said, the soldier that
yes,
comes
exactly.
in and,
Yes,
but
exactly.
you still had to undergo training, right?
Yes.
I mean, as a soldier.
Yes.
How was that?
It was a bit challenging, I can say. It was a bit challenging. But most of the cases, you go in with a vision. You go in with a vision. Okay, this is where I see myself. I want to be there. I want to reach that goal. So you go through the challenges. Obviously, the challenges will teach you discipline, will teach you work ethics, teamwork, and then eventually you get to the point where you want to be.
Yes.
You get to your goal.
Man, you sound very, very focused, very strong, like you have that. But was there ever a point during the training or after where you were like, Maybe, just maybe, like any doubts at all about your abilities to do this?
Definitely there you hit the point. You hit the point where you like, you know what, I think I'm going back home. I don't want this.
Going back. Now, another thing, like I think that being a part of the BDF, they become your new family or your primary family,
yes,
almost,
primary
because you
family.
spend so much time with them on base or on patrols. What is that like, being adopted into this family, meeting new people, working with them, and relying on them sometimes for your survival?
It is honestly, I'm already used to it.
Okay.
You get used to it actually, and you get to meet different people. You get to work with different people, you know, and it's good.
Some would say it's more challenging for women, right?
Right.
Because there's less women. There's a lot of male role models, and so on, but there's less females to really look up to or lean on. There are a few. So do you find that it's more challenging for you as a woman, a young woman?
At first, I used to see it that way, challenging. But eventually, when you know your field, when you know what you're doing, like you just, okay, I got this.
But if, you're here to recruit.
Correct.
Obviously, for men, it's like normal. I go and join the army. But we could have a few young women listening right now and, saying, should I join the army? As a woman in the force, what specialized advice would you give the girls? If you want to join the BDF, this is mentally, you have to be prepared, because it has to be different from the man. What would you advise them? How would you tell them to approach it?
How will I tell them to approach it? Well, first of all, you have to be focused, right? And the BDF teaches you a lot of discipline, a lot of work ethics, so if to those young women out there thinking on to join the Police Defense Force, don't doubt it or get off the fear. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Try it.
Because when you first join, you're not joining as a woman, right? You're joining as an individual into the and I think for a woman, that you have to prepare for that.
The other thing is there's also, you have people who care about you, right? You have your family. Some will encourage you, some will discourage you or attempt to discourage you.
Definitely.
And if you, you can heed to that, so is that something you had to contend with?
Yes, I had to go through that. I had to pass through it. Honestly, I wanted to finish my career. And at some point, I was told that, hey, you know what, that's just for men. You won't be able to bear with it. I was told but then I had to go over my fear. I can't, I said, I'm going to try it. Because most of the times we go with what people say. Don't do it.
True,
It's for men. But then if you don't try it, you will never know. So go, try it.
And I'd say I'd add a little caveat to that. Even for the men, it can be quite daunting approaching the decision to join the Defense Force. Myself, just on the way down, we were speaking about this.
I can't join. I had to wimpy to begin with.
Well, that's what I thought when I joined. That's what I thought. I'm a primarily science background person. I would have been considered nerdy. And so when I was joining the force, I thought, no way, not going to happen. But the instructors are awesome. It's tough, and at times you don't necessarily appreciate the motivation that they give you. But they're great guys and women. We have female instructors as well that guide the women candidates, and they really put a lot of effort into getting the aspirant through the training and to that graduation day when they can call themselves professional soldiers.
Yeah. So at this recruitment stage, you treat men and women exactly the same? When you go through an interview, you don't at least ask the woman, you sure you want to do this?
No,
because it's hard for the men.
We don't necessarily treat the women any different in that respect. The the selection process, the exams, the tests that they will be sitting will be the exact same tests.
All the physical parts too?
So
same?
the standards are slightly different for the male and the female, but it's the same distance.
Okay.
The time might be a little bit different. They get the same time to do push-ups, the same time to do sit-ups, just that they might have a little difference. But even within males, even within females, so say I'll speak about the males, even within the males, generally as we grow older, the requirement kind of tapers off a little bit.
Really?
So it's not that it's different for men and women. It's just it caters to the different abilities.
So how does this recruitment happen now? Where does Tamar go? Because she's considering joining the BDF.
Right. So when Miss Tamara leaves the studio here, she will go and she will look for the flyer that's on the BDF social media page, and I believe it was also provided to put up on the screen. There's a QR code there. So she will scan that code, and that code will prompt her to sign in using a Google Mail, a Gmail account. That will then take her to a Gmail form, which she will then fill in. That will ask her for some bio data, pictures of her social security, receipt of the police.
What kind of questions are on that? Like just basic?
Basic bio data. So
does it ask your health or?
So we get to that point.
Okay.
That's a pre-registration.
Okay.
That's a pre-registration. She fills that out, submits the form. We see it at our headquarters. We get the information. She will receive a confirmatory email with some additional information. But I can tell you now that the additional information is to the effect that she will then be required to report to the recruiting station nearest her July 11th. So, and the recruiting stations are the Drill Hall in Corozal Town, Isles Camp in Orange Walk Town, Militia Hall in Belize City, that's near Cemetery, not Price Barracks, the Police Training Academy in Belmopan, Camp Belisario in Cayo, Central Farm, Dangriga Drill Hall in Dangriga Town, and Camp Fairweather in Toledo. So for her in Belize City, it will be Militia Hall, the nearest recruiting station. And when she turns up, she needs to be prepared to sit an aptitude test. So she doesn't necessarily need, so it's to test her abilities, her thinking,
IQ.
critical thinking abilities, decision-making abilities. She will also need to be prepared to sit a physical assessment. It's nothing too
invasive,
too testing.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be able to get through it. And there will be a medical.
I don't know if she could do one push-up, but I just said that,
We'll find out when she turns up.
Wait, how much? You'll test that?
Yeah.
We'll find out when she turns
What's the
up.
minimum?
Right. It's how at this point we're just gauging your physical abilities. The training again at the training, the instructors will take you to the level required of a soldier. Correct. And at the recruit on July 11th, you will also be completing a medical pre-screening and a psychological pre-screening. You then go back home and we will collate that information and we will reach out to the shortlisted candidates via telephone or email and the shortlisted candidates will then be called in for the actual full medical screening, psychological screening. Those that are further shortlisted will be advised, and then they will report to training on a date, on the date that we tell them.
How many are you looking to recruit?
Exactly.
We are looking to graduate somewhere near 100 recruits.
Okay. Age limits.
So age limits, we are looking at candidates between the ages of 18 and 26 years of age. We are looking for persons with clean police record. We are looking for people who have minimum primary school diploma, but in recent years we've seen people with high school associate's degrees coming to us, and we highly encourage them. Persons who have associate's degree, Ms. Anna Marado would have been one of those persons who came to us with a higher level of academic preparation. And we can see the product now, right? So we do encourage persons even with higher education who might think, well, why would I join the Defense Force with I have an academic degree? There is still opportunities for further education and for upward mobility.
Because you do look like for officer material.
Right. So later in the year, we will be looking at recruiting officer cadets as well.
Oh, that's a different recruitment?
That's a different recruitment.
Okay.
But
that's
candidates,
the one you should go for.
persons who enter the force as enlisted with higher education won't lose their opportunity to attempt the officer selection board.
The recruitment stations you mentioned, are those open? Can somebody listening and say, oh, I walk in and put my name down? They don't. They have to do this QR code and so on?
Well, for now, we're just using the online.
Okay.
Correct. For now. Traditionally, we had left printed forms at the gate of our different camps. But for now, we're piloting this online form, and so far the response has been good in our fairness.
Yeah.
From Monday when we launched this to now, we have had an outpouring of
interest in the
Defense Force.
To join you.
And we're quite excited to see that.
Now, this today is not to discourage anyone who has an interest from applying, but we do know that there might be people out there who they just want a job, right? And so, but this might not be suitable for them because it requires a certain personality, a certain level of dedication, a certain level of sacrifice, physical and mental ability.
The courage.
Yeah. So, what do you say to those people who they're not sure? You know, they're not committed, but they want to test it out.
They want something to do.
Yes.
Right. So for the people who just looking for a job, or for the persons who are not quite sure yet what they want to do in life in general, I'd say give it a go.
Okay.
You really don't.
Still.
You know, if you're not sure what you want to do,
because you go
why not
stages.
why not just try multiple things?
At what stage can I decide this is not for me?
So during the training stage, there is that opportunity for persons who realize it's not for them to say so.
Right.
We won't necessarily force anyone who absolutely doesn't want to do it. But what I can say is that persons who are approaching this and not quite sure, the truth is that the military, the ethos, the esprit de corps, is actually it grows on you. Like I said, when I first came, I was not quite sure. I thought I could not, but it really does grow on you. Even when I finished training, I thought I'm just doing 3 years. I'm 17 years in now, you know.
Wow.
So it's a system that just keeps feeding into itself. And if you're not, it really is an interesting family, the Defense Force. So I would encourage someone who is not quite sure, give it a go.
Try.
There is still opportunities to say, if you get there and you realize really and truly it's not for you, there are opportunities, but I highly doubt that if you get that far, you will not want it.
Very good. Yes. Do you still have the Cadet Corps?
Yes, we still have the Cadet Corps.
How popular is that?
They have the Cadet Corps in different districts. For example, I joined the Carazal district.
And it's in the school system, or it's separate from the school?
It's separate from the school
system.
Yes.
Because, you know, we talk about training the young people coming up, and I think that's one of the ideal ways to do this.
Yeah.
Get the young people, and I think it should be mandatory actually, but that's just me.
That's just your opinion, right?
Yeah, you know, you get a good year of discipline working with persons like yourselves who are good motivators. And
so the Cadet Corps is mostly run by the volunteer battalion, and like Lance Corporal Enamorado indicated, each of our major bases has an assigned instructor for the Cadet Corps purposes of the Cadet Corps, and I can't off the top of my head recall the age range, but yes, and you know, a misconception about the Cadet Corps is that, or even the police cadets, is that it might be for children who have a need for additional discipline. That is not the case whatsoever.
But it helps.
It does help.
It helps.
That is absolutely true.
But you don't have to wait for a child to go wayward.
No.
Correct.
No.
Get them recruited into
it. Some kind of
some children from very young have it very clear in their mind that they like the formality, they like the press uniforms, the shiny buttons, and that is an absolute great outlet for them to do that. And it's actually a passive recruitment for us because like Landscarpa and Amarado, some of those young people eventually come over to
What do you do in the media? You're a captain. Right. What does that mean?
So right here, right now, I am the force adjutant. The force adjutant is just a military term for saying human resources. It's not my specialization. I specialize in infantry, where, like I said at the start, I did that for a number of years. I then migrated over to the engineers, to the light engineering company, which is a specialization. During that time, I furthered my academic pursuit, so I specialized in energy systems engineering. That was facilitated by the Defense Force, I must say, so a big thanks for that opportunity. I then returned to the light engineering company. I had the opportunity to do an international deployment as an infantryman. So
where were you deployed?
To Haiti.
Oh, you're one of the persons that went to Haiti.
I'm one of the persons that
went to Haiti. I'm sure you have stories to tell.
And so, yes, there are many stories. And so I just say that to say that even after a person, even for officers and enlisted, even after you specialize, there is still an opportunity to be able to serve in either capacity throughout the length of your career.
Okay.
So after my tour, I came back, after my international deployment, I came back to the light engineers, where I did a year there, and now I recently got appointed to the position of force adjutant.
Okay.
Congratulations.
So you spend a lot of time behind the desk now.
Now, yes. Yeah. Now, yes.
And I suspect it's different for you, right? Like
totally
you get your hands dirty.
Yes.
As what you call it, flight.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what's your you have already accomplished a major goal of yours. What's your next big aspiration that you're going after?
Now, as you may know, I'm an aircraft technician within the Belize Defense Force. Now, another goal that I have is specializing myself more in the field. When it comes to working on an aircraft, there are different areas that you can specialize on, either be avionics, engine, hydraulics, that you can work on an aircraft. One of my biggest dreams is to specialize myself in avionics, right? Back then we had aircrafts that are all analog, you know. Now we have everything that's upgraded, Garmin, the G1000. So I want to really specialize myself in that field and to learn more about it. So that is one of my goals right now.
Do we still have the helicopters?
Yes, we have it.
Yeah.
But we don't have it.
I know. I know those things are expensive to maintain.
They sure are.
Very hard to maintain. I agree. Do we have a full woman battalion at BDF?
No. So within the BDF, the policy is that they are integrated. So because we want to, create equality and equity, more importantly, the equity aspect,
I think you need to change that policy, though. That's just me again, my personal.
Right. So no. Throughout their careers, the women members get to compete with their male counterparts for promotions, for positions, on a even playing.
Some of the armies abroad, like especially in Asia and so on, they have full women battalions. Yeah. I don't know if the Americans have, but the British, I'm not sure. But it's rather impressive when you see all these women come out. You're actually afraid for them.
Right. So something that we'd like to also reiterate. So like I said, our primary purpose here is to share the recruitment information with the public. Again, the online.
So that's on now.
Application that's on now. For persons having issues scanning the QR code, there is also a link there. Click the link; it takes you to the same place. So you can do that. Scan the code. Click the link, sign in, do the form, and report to the
And
recruiting
what's the
station on the 11th.
time limit for that?
So we will
That
have
closes-
this. We will have this going up until the day before. So on the 10th of July, we will be closing it off so that we can.
So now until the 10th of July, the opportunity to sign up.
Yes, correct. So that's a principal thing, sharing that information with the public. We're also wanting to share the possibilities, the opportunities that are there
did that.
for those who want to join the force. But we also don't want to forget that the bulk of the defense force is infantry based.
Mhm.
These men and women, infantrymen and women,
They're the ones on the
are
ground.
the ones that do the real business for us. And all these specializations that we are talking about, we are here to support them. And so for the young men and women out there listening and thinking they want to join, they want to be at the business end, you know, why are we talking about engineering and driving and cooking and, you know, clerks and all these things? Well, it's because all these people that we're recruiting, we want to improve our capacity to support more effectively.
At the beginning, everybody has to go through that training.
At the beginning, everyone does that.
I know we're running out of time. Can somebody join up and say, look, I'm a good cook. I want to be the cook.
So we
Is
have
that-
that.
is that-
We've had that question.
Yeah.
So someone joins the force, they get through training, they join their unit. Once they're at their unit, they're doing their tour, enjoying their time in the jungle. And at one point, they say to the unit
I make a
administrator,
good tacos, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
When we're deployed, we in the jungle, eating has to happen, and generally that's how we identify the persons that we want
There
to
you
send.
go.
So you'll come recommended if you're good.
That's right, absolutely. If you can make a good meal in the jungle, you can make a great meal anywhere.
Officers, thank you.
Thank you so much
Claudio
for coming.
and
Thank you for
Jency,
having
thank you for coming
You're welcome.
and making us proud.
You are very welcome.
You're
It
very
was an
welcome.
absolute pleasure. Best of
That's
luck. with
AI, you know, that's AI.
Right.
Always
They
listening
listen
to my
it.
conversations.
Yes, they do
Thank
that.
you so much for coming in. Jency, you're a woman to be proud of. I think you represent the force very well. And I'm sure that there are young ladies out there that are listening who are probably thinking, I want to be like you. So thanks for being a role model. And keep it up. Keep up the good work. All the best to you. 27 minutes to 9. Gotta take this quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about girls basketball.
in sports.
We'll be
yeah.
right back.
24 minutes before 9 o'clock, the morning show. This is the final segment, and Tamar will introduce our guests.
It would be my absolute pleasure. We're talking about girls basketball. Actually, we started the show talking about a girl in basketball.
What's the young lady's name that you showed?
Kenya Gillit, 11 years old. All right, so to tell us about the Belize Girls Basketball Club, we have Jacob Leslie. He is the president of the club. We have Rupert Brown, coach and founder. And we have Mr. Arthur Usher. He's the manager of the hub right here in Belize City. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
So, Mr. Founder, Girls Basketball Club, is this something for the summer? Talk to us about the program and what it's intended to do.
Okay, sure. The program is an all year round program.
Okay.
Right? It's not just for the summer, it's all year round. And what we intend to do is give the girls an opportunity to train and get better, because it's been a trend for years that our girls participate in sports but they don't have the proper training. We have 1 or 2 girls that go to clubs with all boys and they try to train and try to get better, right? Like the young lady you mentioned.
Yes.
Right? So now what we're trying to do is trying to give the girls full attention, full opportunity to train the right way and to actually excel at basketball if that's what they like. And it's not open just for girls that knows how to play the game. It's open for everybody and anybody that is interested in basketball. Once you're a girl, you know, age ranges from 8 up until 17, right? And the program is intended on bettering their skills as a player and them as an individual all around, right? That's why I tried to partner with the hub and with, you know, the Basketball Federation to make this an all-inclusive program, you know, with the benefits of what the hub has to offer to the community and to the public.
Now, from what I can see, female basketball is grossly underrated when compared to male basketball leagues, right? We see it even at the NBA, WNBA level. In elite basketball in Belize, I don't believe there's anything in place for girls. Mr. Leslie, can you talk to us about that gap?
Yeah, I mean, it has been a challenge. I think when we were growing up, female basketball was very big in Belize, right? You had junior competitions, senior competitions, and for some reason, there was a diversion, and we lost the girls. We forgot about them, and we never created opportunities for them. So that's why when I was approached by Mr. Brown with this opportunity, it's something that we've been trying to do for some time. Because we have a lot of young girls that are interested in basketball, but there's no avenues for them. So we're expecting them to go play basketball in primary school and high school, but nobody's teaching them because we don't even have proper coaching in these schools.
Yeah.
Right? So programs like these, where we can get the attention of these young ladies. I always tell people, when you talk about female sports, the reason I think we have more male sports than female sports is because as a society, we gravitate to things that we are reactive, right? So we see at-risk boys. You say, oh, boys need attention, or boys need activities because they're at risk. And their risk is that they participate in illegal activities, they commit crimes. And then we don't see the risk our young girls are at, right? We don't see that our young girls are having children at a young age that are creating these single parents households that are leading to these boys that are being not supervised properly and committing these crimes. So it's a cycle that we have. And we're reactive to it by fixing a band-aid on the boys and neglecting the girls who are part of the core source of these issues, right?
Yeah.
So these programs are important because these programs not only introduce basketball, but sports is a discipline, and it keeps you active, it keeps you engaged, and it gives you a pathway for success. We have through basketball with our young men create a lot of opportunities for them. We put them on a world stage. Many of them have scholarships locally and internationally. We have to create those same things for the girls, and it starts with programs like these where we can consistently get our young girls engaged in the sport, learn the sport, but learn the discipline of the sport that's most important that translates to life, right?
Okay. The hub is involved in this.
Yeah.
I know you have the facilities to accommodate the training, but does it go beyond that? How are you involved?
Yeah, so the hub comes under the Ministry of Human Development, and what we do is provide wraparound services in many of these areas. So when Mr. Brown approached me, the idea was simple. We provide a space, yes, to do the actual basketball and all of that, but there's also a portion of it which speaks to development, psychological development, and as Mr. Leslie said, how do we add different levels and layers to these programs to better develop the girls, right? So if there's a social issue, we can also tie that in. We have counseling services, we have social workers, we have all these other areas of human development within our facility. So yes, we may come to basketball, but we can refer to other support systems. And so that's where our I guess, the three-way connection works best.
Need each other to do
right,
this.
right. So it's not just basketball development. There is social and psychological development added to that as well.
Do you see this leading to an all-girls league or something?
Well, I'll have him answer, but for me, it's at a federation level, we want our girls to compete regionally and internationally, right? And we have no programs to evaluate them. So a program like this, I can communicate it wrong and say, wrong, what do we have? What age group do we think are best suited to compete? Because we're dealing with kids from 8 to 18, right? And those are normally the categories that we compete in as children, right? So this program gives us an ability, and we're hoping to not only have it isolated to Belize, but hopefully expand to the different districts over a period of time, right? But it gives us a pool of players that we can evaluate and to see, all right, are these girls ready to compete on a regional and international stage, so that, again, we can create the same opportunities for them that we have been able to communicate, create for the boys, no?
In all fairness, we already have a success story with the girls volleyball.
Right.
They have taken over the attraction of volleyball. I mean, due respect to the men, when the girls play, I get excited.
Right.
You know, not so much for the men, because
so
the
much.
girls have proven themselves,
Right.
and they are playing. Could we achieve the same level? They already have a method and a process. Maybe it would be wise to see what. Yes, you know, is this where we need to go?
Yeah, I believe so, because we also have blueprints with boys basketball as well, right? I mean, before I was involved in the Bulldogs Basketball Club that was sponsored by the Belize Bank, and we literally could hold, you know, our heads up for producing what we call right now our best athletes in basketball, right? They came out of our program. So we have a lot of success stories on the boys' end, but we need to try to help the girls. Most of our girls stop playing sports at 14, except for the volleyball girls, you know, right? And
the minute they start to do their nails.
Yeah, and
I'll let that one slide. You get one.
well, as soon as they start to find out about boys and stuff
I'll let
like
that
that.
slide too. That's two.
No more. Yeah. So we want to give them an opportunity, and like the president said, it's a step towards developing the girls' league, the girls' tournaments, the girls on a whole, right? Because it's not fair for us to just have things for the boys to do in terms of basketball. We have to have for the girls as well, just like volleyball has male and female teams that go outside and compete. We haven't been able to send girls' team out because they're not skilled.
You're not formalized it yet.
And they're not trained, right?
You know, let me ask Mr. Brown, with any initiative, the most compelling thing is the why. What was that catalyst for you that made you decide that this is something that has to be done, and even if you have to be the one to do it?
Well, honestly, I could give you one example that happened probably 5-6 years ago or even more, right? I was asked to ref a primary school basketball game at the Civic. I think it was semifinals or something like that. And I went to the game to ref the game. The game started, and the first 5 minutes of the game, I realized there's only 2 girls on this court that really know how to play the game.
Wow.
All the other girls don't know. They're just participating just to have fun. So I couldn't really ref the game the right way because they don't even know the rules.
Wow.
And this was at a semifinals game. So, and the game ended like 2-1 or something like that.
Wow.
Right?
2-1.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, right? And I was told yesterday that they had a overtime game that
Double overtime.
Double overtime game, the president told.
Yeah.
Double overtime game that was at
2-1.
2-1 again.
In 2 overtimes.
And that was
We're talking
at the
basketball?
national.
Yes.
Yeah, basketball.
Females.
Yeah.
And a football score.
Yeah.
All right.
And
You're
then
right.
a football game and they got basketball score, yes, but first time.
Yes. So that was discouraging, but it was also encouraging for me because
You're
I
talking
knew
about
that-
recently?
Yes.
This is at the
This
Super
year,
Nationals?
Yeah,
you
Super
tell-
Nationals and Nationals before that, the primary school, right? And it's really wrong for the kids, and we are to be blamed because the kids have the energy, they want to participate, right? But we are not giving them the tools and the education.
Develop
and-
bad habits, too, you know.
all the
on
time.
the field.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to share with the general public what I have here is the rights of a young athlete, right? Every single athlete, male and female, here in Belize by FIBA law, which governs Belize, right? And the rights of a young athlete states it has nine different rights. The first one is the right to participate in sporting competition, right? Second one is the right to participate in competition whose level is suitable for the child. You wouldn't have a handicapped child playing with normal kids,
Right.
right? So the third one is the one that I take very, very seriously because we're dealing with the future and we're dealing with the kids. The kids have a right to have a qualified coach training them. If you don't know the basics and the right thing to do, you shouldn't be training the kids. That's where all the bad habits come from. That's where, and as parents, you should know that sending your child to anybody opens them up to everything and anything. It's not that we can't learn from anybody, but it's what we do learn from people. Some people teach us things that we think are good, but turns out to be bad habits. And the biggest part of what I've noticed with a lot of these kids going to people that are not certified or trained, when they leave that person, they're not even coachable. You know, they have in their mindset, they've been told that they're the best, or they have it already, they don't think they have to work as hard, or their work ethic is not even there. You know, all they want to do is just run on the court and play. They don't stretch, they don't do any physical training, they don't get their mind ready to do what they want to do. And this is as much mental as it is physical, right? You have to have the right mindset, you know? And a lot of these things that happen with parents' consent because the parents don't know, you know? So
And
I'm
they just want to get the kid out there.
Oh,
to
that's
run
right.
out, yeah.
You know, and then they
Feel
put
so
their
tired.
hands, they put their kids in people's hands that they think are helping the kids, but really and truly it's doing them an injustice, right? Naturally by law, right? The next one is the right to play as a child or a teenager and not as an adult. Meaning you're a child, nobody should be shouting, screaming at you, putting pressure on you. It should be fun. It shouldn't be about winning. It should be about development, having fun, building that work ethic, you know? Because by the time you reach 12, 13, 14, you should learn how to train to compete. Before that, you're learning how to train, how to play, how to have fun, getting your motor skills together, right? When you reach 12 and up, you start training to compete. You understand? So it's a different mindset, you know? And when you reach 17, 18, you're training as a pro, right? So it's an advanced training. It's more business-minded, meaning you're training to get a job, trying to go professionally, trying to go to a college, a scholarship, right? So it's a totally different mindset on every different level. But if you're not a good coach or a trained coach, you won't even notice. So you'll be telling the kids at 7, 8, come on, do it right, go and work hard, and you're pressured, and they should just be having fun, right? So these are the things that we overlook for years, and that's what have us in this situation right now where we have the kids playing games and the kids are scoring 2 points and 3 points and the game is finished 1-0 and the kids are running around getting hurt. The ref can't really blow the game because if I blow this traveling foul or this foul, I'll have to blow it every minute. And
Every
the game
player
won't play.
basically.
You know? So it's not fair on the kids, right? The kids have the right to have a safe and healthy environment while they're playing, right? It's not take your kids anywhere to anybody and whatever happens. You got to make sure they are safe. They have the right to partake in making decisions about the sporting activity they play. Have you ever asked a child, do you like the sport? Do you want to play the sport? Simple things like that.
So if they don't like it, you could take them out?
You should.
You should. Why are you forcing?
Really?
Why are you forcing a
because,
child?
Because they're learning other disciplines along, and also because kids just, sometimes they have to be guided.
Yes, I think what is important is, again, when you're introducing sport to kids, you introduce them to multiple sports.
That's right.
Right, so they play volleyball, they play football, they play basketball, and you see which one they actually gravitate to. It's not that you take kids out of sports, no. You introduce different sports. So you don't put them in basketball because you wanted to play basketball or because you want your child to play basketball. It's important to, and again, one of the most important things that he said there is that it has to be introduced as an activity for fun. Right. And then you see which activity the child does that he's more...
But the discipline, you're saying, the discipline has to be from the beginning, though.
Exactly.
Because the child might pick the wrong game for the wrong reason. I mean,
that's right. But you have all of these sports, and that's why it's important to
have a trained coach. But the discipline is important, you're right.
That's why...
Wouldn't you agree that as much as you love basketball, wasn't there a point where maybe because you had a coach you didn't like or a bad game that you wanted to quit, but,
So I'll give an example that goes for me and my older brother Darwin. We were football players.
Okay.
That was our first sport. Yeah. And then we saw guys playing basketball over the hostel and we jumped the fence and started to play and loved that more.
Okay.
And gravitated to it more. So for children, when you're playing, you're just having fun. It doesn't matter the sport enough. Right? Yeah. It's just having fun if you're being trained in a good environment. Yeah. Where at 8 years old, 9 years old, nobody's screaming at me. Those are the things that have kids walk away.
True.
Because they're in an environment where they're feeling attacked. You take away the fun because they lost. That's why I have an 8-year-old son. He doesn't compete. He trains, we work out, but I don't have him compete at that age because at that age, in my opinion, they can't accept losing it. So losing hurts them. It bothers them, and in some instances, it actually let them lose their passion for the game.
Right. That's right.
Right? So under FIBA rules, they tell you their developmental stages and then their competitive stages. When we mix it, and we have them compete too early, we might lose some of these kids because you're taking away the fun, because they're playing on teams that are losing every game, and then the sport no longer becomes fun for them.
Right. That's right.
Right? So there are key things, and that's why one of the things he said, the right to have a qualified coach. Because a qualified coach knows how to teach the game in a disciplined environment while having fun.
That's right.
Some guys, you take these kids at 7, 8, 9, they're competing right now, and you watch your coaches on the sideline yelling at them, go in the position, do that. And when the game done and the kids lose, they're crying. As a parent, I would take my child home. I didn't bring my child here to play, to cry.
This was not intended to stomp on their self-esteem.
So I say a lot to say that we should find out what the child likes to do.
Okay.
But we do that by introducing them not to one sport that you choose for them, but introducing them to sports on a whole. And I particularly like team sports because it teaches communication, it teaches leadership. Individual sports, it's you alone.
Yeah.
But team sports, you have to work with others, you have to communicate, and these things translate. But you have to do it in an environment that is conducive to growth.
But at some point, the child has to learn that losing is acceptable.
At some point. Yes. And you can't teach that at 6 and 7. At 6 and 7, it's learning the game, having fun in the game. And when they become 9, 10, 11, you transition them into some form of competition, understand, all right, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some. But if you introduce it too early, you take the fun and the love of the game.
I will trust your sports psychology here, but I do also feel like if you have your first loss at 12, it's just as painful as if you had it at 6, right? Because it's about the working through the experience, not necessarily the age.
But your mental development of accepting it.
Right. I think
but you're more mature because of experience.
The point here is the discipline. Right. Because the 6-year-old already will know discipline. The game is played this way. You know, they don't get that false hope.
There's a winner and there's a loser.
Right.
As long as
so
you
when they reach that losing
and
stage,
you're grooming them for
you already
competition.
know there's a discipline, and the better I do work at that discipline,
so you're
the better
grooming
chance
them.
I have of winning.
That's it.
So
So
when more?
Yes. One second. Wow, and all done. Because this is an important thing I want the general public to understand.
True.
When you're grooming a child, you're grooming them for competition. So there's a time when you prepare and there's a time for participation. So in the grooming stages, you're teaching them work ethic. Try your best, development, working. So when you play the game and you lose, you can identify at this point,
why
I need to get better at this. Oh, I was exposed in this area. And then know that that loss drives me to be better. But if I'm not properly trained in the developmental cycle, when I lose, I'm hurt. When I lose, I'm frustrated. When I lose, I don't want to play again.
Then I get upset, right?
And so if we skip the developmental stages, we skip important parts that actually impact the child's development, right? So that's why I'm saying
that's critical, you know.
It's not that we don't have them participate, but if we have them participate too early and they're not prepared for it, then they receive losses the wrong way, right?
And don't know how to cope with it.
And they actually convince themselves, I'm not good at this.
And I don't want to do it anymore.
When just a little more tweak, a little work would have gotten them over the
hump. And those little haters on the sidelines, they try to use that loss against them too.
They make it worse. They make it worse. So that's why we come to the next one, the seventh one that says the right to receive appropriate preparation in order to be able to compete. So between that span of 8 to 12, that's where they're getting the right preparation to be able to then learn how to compete.
I think we covered that.
Right?
We'll finish with the...
one more. The right to be treated with dignity.
Yes.
There we go.
And the last one, the right to have fun while participating in the sport. Right? It should be, for example, if you go across the border, you go to America or you go anywhere else, every single league that is Pee-wee or junior, they refrain from giving one team like trophies and championships. They give everybody participation medals or ribbons or stuff like that. Because they don't want you to feel like a loser at 8, 9 as a loser. So everybody in the Pee-wee leagues in America gets medals and participation, right?
Here's hoping we don't get that woke though, because we want our children to be able to celebrate those who win. But
everybody is a winner at that age. Everybody is a winner. If you participate, you're a winner.
Let's talk about how the girls can sign up.
Sure. Well, this Saturday here, the 27th of June, we are opening it up for registration. Right, for everybody to come. If they're not in the city, they could call in and put their names down, and we have them down, but they still need to fill out one of the registration forms, right? That gives us basic information about them, their age, their names, the school they attend, their parents' names and consent, right? And certain different information we need to know, like, for example, if you have any kind of medical condition or anything like that that would prevent you from training the way we intend on training, right? So as far as it goes with the program, Saturday we want to invite everybody out. We have 2 different age range, so we're catering for 2 different time.
What's the age range?
The age range is from 8 to 12, and then from 13 to 18, 17, under 18, right? So the guys that are 8 to 12, the girls, sorry. I'm just, the girls. The girls that are coming in from 8 to 12, they come in from 8 in the morning until 10, once you're age 8 to 12. And that's the time you sign up between 8 and 10, if you're that age. If you're 13 to 18, you sign up between 10 and 12, right? Now, we want to ask everybody to come with your parents, come out. So we want this to be a family-oriented.
Come out to where?
To the hub. To the hub, 8 to 10 and 10 to 12, right, on Saturday morning. We have a slight program that we want to run to really introduce them to what we're going to do, right? But it won't be a day of training. It would be a day of basically just showing off the skill level, introducing the program, and
showcasing.
As well as the first year of the program. The first year of the program is basically
like an engaging launch. Here's a structured breakdown for your Saturday morning.
That must your boyfriend.
This is annoying. I'm sorry.
An engaging launch.
Make sure.
I am embarrassed.
No, it's cool.
Yes, so Saturday morning we want to ask everybody to come out, sign, register, get familiar with the program, what we intend on doing. We'll introduce ourselves and the coaches and what the program is
Are parents,
about.
guardians included, or
everybody's included? We want them to come. Because we want them to be a part of this.
That's right.
I need the parents to be a part of it because I need their help. I'm only going to be seeing the kids one time every week, so I need them to help the kids stay on track. Because as the program goes, I'll be giving them homework, I'll be giving them stuff to do, stuff to research, different things, because it builds your body and your mind.
You said kids from outside the city. How far outside?
Well, I was speaking to some girls from down in Stan Creek, down in PG. I have girls from out in the Keys.
Because they have to make a commitment if they most of the activity will happen here. So.
For that reason, I also approached the minister of sports, right, and asked him to be on board so that we could get some assistance with the girls that are out district in terms of bringing them in as well and having them. It's only one day. It's only for probably 4 hours, so it's not something.
But it's going to be an weekly occurrence?
Yes, it will be.
Afterwards.
Until we can expand it to the different districts.
Right. Yes. The first year, it's going to probably be a little bit challenging, a little bit rough for them outside in terms to get here. But once they come on board, they commit, they sign, and they start the program and they start training, we are on the venture of trying to make it a little bit easier for them in whatever way that possibly could be.
We wish you all success, honestly. Because I think you're thinking of it on the right track.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have great partners offering their support. So it's only up from here, right?
Definitely.
Strong program.
Definitely.
All
We
right.
need the parents and the girls to come on board.
It's 3 minutes after 9. So, of course, we want to thank you for coming, for sharing this initiative, inviting the girls of Belize to participate in this. And while I'm at it, I want to say thank you to our staff behind the scenes. We have KJ. He is assisting William on controls and camera. And we also have William. He's our MCU and cameraman. In Love Studios, we have Richard Herbert. He's going to be with you guys for the rest of the morning, keeping you company. Any information, it passes through him. And as well, all that musical entertainment. So keep it locked to Love.
Thanks again, folks. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, same place, on The Morning Show. Don't forget, take care of yourself and be kind to somebody today. Belize and beyond, thanks for choosing love. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Belize, and good morning. I say good morning, Belize, and good morning. And how are you this morning?
Every morning, life go to work and get it life.